Tanjiro Kamado led a happy and peaceful life with his family in the snowy mountains, where he provided for them by selling charcoal in the nearby town. However, one fateful day, he returned home to a horrifying scene. A demon attack had brutally slaughtered his entire family. The only survivor was his younger sister, Nezuko Kamado, who was beginning to transform into a demon herself. A demon slayer named Giyu Tomioka appeared with the intent to kill Nezuko, but Tanjiro desperately tried to defend his sister. Nezuko resisted her demonic urges and protected her brother. Impressed by Tanjiro's determination and Nezuko's unique situation, Giyu spared her life and instructed Tanjiro to seek out Sakonji Urokodaki on Mount Sagiri for guidance. After burying their family, Tanjiro and Nezuko embarked on their journey. As they approached Mount Sagiri, they encountered a demon in a nearby temple. Although they managed to subdue it, Tanjiro hesitated to deliver the final blow, leaving the demon to die in the sunlight. During this time, Tanjiro met Sakonji Urokodaki, who rebuked him for his lack of resolve and cautioned him about the consequences if Nezuko were to harm a human. After allowing Nezuko to rest, Urokodaki put Tanjiro through a rigorous test to prove his worthiness. This test involved climbing up and descending the treacherous and trap-laden Mount Sagiri. With determination and skill, Tanjiro completed the task. Urokodaki, recalling the letter from Giyu requesting him to train Tanjiro as a demon slayer, accepted Tanjiro as his student. Tanjiro embarked on rigorous training to become a member of the Demon Slayer Corps, fully aware that he had to pass the final selection to earn his place among them. Under the strict and harsh guidance of Sakonji Urokodaki, he endured 1 to 1.5 years of grueling training on the mountain. During this time, he delved deep into the intricacies of the total concentration and water-breathing techniques, honing his skills to perfection. With his training nearly complete, Urokodaki presented Tanjiro with one last task: to slice through an enormous boulder. However, Tanjiro struggled even to dent the colossal rock for the next 6 months. His hope began to wane until he was unexpectedly confronted by a fellow swordsman, Sabido, who criticized him for his weaknesses. Fortunately, another skilled swordsman, Makomo, came to Tanjiro's aid. They both revealed that they were former students of Urokodaki and joined forces to train him further. After an additional 6 months of intense training, Tanjiro faced Sabido in a final spar. Tanjiro successfully struck Sabido, earning their commendation. However, he realized his slash had sliced the boulder in half. Urokodaki was stunned by Tanjiro's accomplishment and congratulated him for mastering everything he had learned during his 2 to 2.5 years of training. With newfound confidence, Tanjiro joined a group of aspiring demon slayers as they prepared for the final selection. During the arduous ordeal of the final selection, which involved surviving for 7 days in the dangerous mountains filled with demons, Tanjiro faced off against the fearsome Hand Demon. This grotesque giant targeted Urokodaki's former students, including Sabido and Makomo, whom he had killed. Despite the demon's formidable defenses, Tanjiro overcame them and successfully severed its neck using his water-breathing technique. As the Hand Demon began to fade away, Tanjiro sensed a profound sense of sadness emanating from it. In a gesture of compassion, he prayed, wishing for the demon to be reborn in a better life. This act also allowed the souls of Urokodaki's past students to find peace. After surviving the 7 days of the grueling final selection, Tanjiro found himself among only 3 others who had made it through. In a fit of anger, one grabbed a girl's hair, prompting Tanjiro to scold him. The group received the necessary materials to forge their demon-slaying swords. Tanjiro then returned to Mount Sagiri, reuniting with Urokodaki and his reawakened sister, Nezuko. The arrival of a swordsmith named Hotaru Haganezuka added to the surprise. Tanjiro's sword turned black, a rarity. Soon after, his Kasugai Crow appeared to deliver the details of his first mission, investigating a town plagued by the mysterious disappearance of young girls. Tanjiro journeyed to the northwest village to investigate a troubling case involving the mysterious disappearance of young girls. He met Kazumi, a troubled man whose fiancé had become the latest victim of this enigmatic threat, plunging him into despair. Choosing to act under the cover of night when the demon typically made its move, Tanjiro intervened to rescue the next intended victim. He soon encountered the notorious Swamp Demon, a formidable adversary capable of creating clones of himself and using puddles to appear from unexpected locations. Faced with overwhelming odds, Tanjiro struggled to protect Kazumi and the endangered girl while attempting to land fatal blows on the elusive demons. In a surprising turn of events, Nezuko intervened to assist her brother in the battle against the Swamp Demon, leaving the latter shocked by the presence of a demon accompanying a demon slayer. With Nezuko safeguarding Kazumi and the girl, Tanjiro confronted the Swamp Demon and his remaining clones. Taking the fight into the swamp, where two clones concealed themselves, Tanjiro defeated them using his whirlpool form. This left only one clone for Nezuko and Tanjiro to confront. From the Swamp Demon, Tanjiro attempted to extract information about Muzan Kibutsuji, the original demon capable of turning humans into demons. However, the demon, terrified by Muzan's threats, refused to divulge any details. Ultimately, Tanjiro defeated the demon. Afterward, Tanjiro offered solace to the grieving Kazumi over losing his fiancée. Following this mission, Tanjiro headed to Tokyo's Asakusa for his next assignment. Upon his arrival, he detected a scent reminiscent of the day his family was killed. He followed the scent to a man with his wife and daughter, only to discover that the man was cleverly disguised, none other than Muzan himself. A confrontation ensued, during which Muzan turned a passerby into a demon in the crowded streets to cover his escape. As Muzan fled, he overheard Tanjiro's vow to track him down again. Muzan, recalling a formidable enemy from his past who had worn Hanafuda earrings similar to Tanjiro's, tasked two powerful demons, Susamaru and Yahaba, with the mission to locate and eliminate Tanjiro. Meanwhile, Tanjiro was rescued by a mysterious demon named Tamayo and her companion, Yushiro. Tamayo, a doctor with a vendetta against Muzan, revealed her intentions to create a cure for demonization. She needed blood samples from demons who had direct contact with Muzan to do so. Tanjiro, determined to help, accepted the challenge. However, as they discussed their plans, the group was suddenly attacked by a horde of Temari balls controlled by Susamaru and Yahaba, setting the stage for a new and dangerous confrontation. Susamaru unleashed her formidable Temari, assaulting the concealed house with immense power, exposing her and her companion, Yahaba, as members of the 12 Kizuki, powerful demons, who served directly under Muzan, the ultimate demon. Amid the battle, Yushiro was finished by one of Susamaru's Temari. However, he swiftly regenerated, showcasing the remarkable resilience of demons. Meanwhile, Tanjiro struggled to evade Susamaru's Temari, which moved in physically impossible trajectories and proved challenging to slash. Yushiro came to Tanjiro's aid, revealing the secret behind Susamaru's Temari control, the arrows employed by Yahaba to manipulate their movements telekinetically. Despite Nezuko's valiant attempt to confront Yahaba, circumstances forced the siblings to switch opponents. Yushiro joined the fray, engaging Susamaru with his blood demon art. Initially, Yahaba had the upper hand, deftly altering Tanjiro's trajectory as he sought to close in on his target. Tragically, Nezuko lost her leg to one of Susamaru's Temari during the chaotic battle. However, drawing upon his training and inner strength, Tanjiro summoned a combination of water-breathing forms, exploiting the direction of Yahaba's arrows to his advantage. This strategic maneuver allowed him to bridge the distance between himself and Yahaba, ultimately finishing the formidable demon. In a final desperate act, the dying Yahaba used his arrows to fling his own body as a weapon to kill Tanjiro. Displaying tremendous resolve, Tanjiro employed consecutive water-breathing forms to dissipate the momentum and survive the deadly assault. After surviving the intense battle, Tanjiro and Nezuko were healed by Tamayo, a fellow demon with a mission to defeat Muzan. Tamayo used her blood demon art to lower Susamaru's alertness, inadvertently causing Susamaru to utter Muzan's name. This triggered a curse that swiftly claimed Susamaru's life. Through careful examination of Suzumaru's eyeball, Tamayo deduced that neither Suzumaru nor Yahaba belonged to the 12 Kizuki, as they lacked the numerical designation characteristic of those elite demons. Tanjiro couldn't help but lament Muzan's cruelty in manipulating demons and exploiting their desperation. Even though Urokodaki had previously conditioned Nezuko to protect humans, her recognition of Tamayo and Yushiro as humans filled her with gratitude and emotion. With these events behind them, Tanjiro and Nezuko embarked on their next mission. En route, Tanjiro encountered a demon slayer harassing a woman, coercing her into an unwanted marriage proposal. Tanjiro intervened to protect the woman and revealed to his companion, Zenitsu Agatsuma, that he had once wished for death during the final selection due to his perceived weakness and wavering resolve. Guided by their Kasugai crow, Tanjiro and Zenitsu were led to their next destination, a grand woodland mansion. There, they encountered two children, Shoichi and Teruko, who pleaded for help, claiming a demon had abducted their brother. As Tanjiro and a reluctant Zenitsu ventured into the mansion, they found themselves entangled in its supernatural rooms, which responded to the beat of a mysterious drum. Meanwhile, Teruko accompanied Tanjiro, while Shoichi encountered another demon slayer adorned with a boar mask. Amidst these challenges, Tanjiro witnessed the potential of the demon's power as it manipulated the mansion's rooms with its unique blood demon art, a skill involving the drums embedded within its body. Unexpectedly, the boar-masked demon slayer entered the fray, further complicating the difficult situation. The rogue demon slayer argued with Tanjiro, both vying for the right to kill the menacing demon within the supernatural mansion. Their dispute nearly escalated into violence when they were suddenly assailed by invisible razor-sharp slashes unleashed by the demon's drumming. Separated into different rooms, Tanjiro embarked on a quest to find Teruko's missing brother, Kiyoshi. Meanwhile, Zenitsu and Shoichi found themselves cornered by another demon. Overwhelmed by fear, Zenitsu succumbed to unconsciousness, but demonstrated incredible power in his sleep, employing his thunder-breathing technique to defeat the demon. Upon awakening, he mistakenly believed that Shoichi had defeated the demon. The rogue demon slayer also encountered a demon and swiftly dispatched it easily. Their adversary, the drum demon known as Kyogai, divulged his sinister intentions, driven by a desire to kill Kiyoshi and extract his blood to regain his position among the 12 Kizuki, a rank he had previously lost due to Muzan's decree. After ensuring the siblings' safety, Tanjiro confronted Kyogai, the drum demon. In a relentless battle, Tanjiro began to adapt to the intricate movements of Kyogai's drums. Despite sustaining injuries, he drew strength from the teachings of his mentor, Urokodaki, about the adaptability of water-breathing techniques. Enraged by Tanjiro's resilience, Kyogai launched erratic attacks. During this intense battle, Kyogai's past as a drummer and composer was revealed, where his passion had been ridiculed and rejected. Tanjiro remained steadfast in employing water breathing, eventually reaching Kyogai and finished him. In his final moments, Kyogai was moved as Tanjiro acknowledged the incredible nature of his blood demon art and cried tears of recognition before turning to ash. Tanjiro collected a sample of Kyogai's blood in a vial and entrusted it to Tamayo's cat. As they left the mansion, they encountered Zenitsu, who had been thrown out earlier by the rogue demon slayer for safeguarding Nezuko's box. Despite the taboo against demon slayers harming each other, the rogue slayer engaged Tanjiro in combat. In a desperate move to stop the rogue slayer, Tanjiro headbutted him, causing the mask to fall off and revealing a surprisingly feminine face despite the individual's strong and muscular physique. This warrior introduced themselves as Inosuke Hashibira. Their journey continued as Tanjiro's Kasugai crow directed them to descend the mountain. After bidding farewell to the siblings, the trio found refuge in a house, where an older woman kindly provided them a place to rest and recuperate. Inosuke shared his unique motivation for entering the final selection, explaining that he joined solely to test his abilities against demons. Zenitsu questioned Tanjiro about the presence of a demon just as Nezuko emerged from her box. Enraged at the sight of Nezuko, Zenitsu chased Tanjiro without allowing him a chance to explain. The trio received their next mission upon their recovery, which would take them to Mount Natagumo. They expressed their gratitude to their hosts before departing. Night fell, and Zenitsu began to express reluctance to continue the mission. As they pressed onward, they encountered another demon slayer mysteriously pulled back into the mountain, raising concerns about the impending dangers. Inosuke and Tanjiro ventured deeper into the forest, discovering it was enshrouded in intricate spider webs. They encountered a fellow demon slayer named Murata, who disclosed that 10 of their comrades had been dispatched to the mountain, where they inexplicably began to turn on each other. The deceased demon slayers, manipulated by the webs, attacked them. Soon after, they were confronted by a short, pale demon who warned them to leave, or Mother would annihilate them. Faced with this threat, Inosuke utilized his beast-breathing technique to pinpoint the location of a distant demon. Amid their ordeal, word of the numerous deaths reached the Demon Slayer Corps, prompting them to send 2 Hashiras, Giyu and Shinobu, to assist on Mount Natagumo. Murata bravely chooses to stay behind and hold off the controlled Demon Slayers, allowing Tanjiro and Inosuke to press forward into the treacherous depths of their difficult journey. As they venture further, they stumble upon the remaining puppets, some miraculously still alive. These puppets are controlled by Mother, who faces threats from her son, Rui, compelling her to dispose of Tanjiro and Inosuke swiftly. With a grim determination, Tanjiro and Inosuke learn how to neutralize the webs, but their efforts are in vain as Mother ruthlessly eliminates them all. Undaunted, they continue their relentless pursuit, facing the strongest puppet created by Mother, an imposing, bladed, headless demon. Together, they coordinate their breathing techniques, a testament to their growing synergy and camaraderie. Their synchronized efforts prove triumphant as they manage to slay this formidable adversary. Their journey is pivotal when Inosuke propels Tanjiro into the air, granting him a vantage point from which he spots Mother. Tanjiro descends upon her with determination, and in a surprising twist, Mother surrenders. Recognizing that death would free her from the torment she endured, Tanjiro opts to employ the gentlest form of water breathing to grant her a peaceful end. In gratitude for this act of mercy, Mother imparts a crucial piece of information to Tanjiro. A member of the 12 Kizuki is lurking on the mountain. Meanwhile, Zenitsu embarks on his quest to locate Nezuko. Along the way, he encounters a bizarre creature with a human head. Frightened and bewildered, Zenitsu hastily retreats but soon stumbles upon demon slayers, trapped in the spider's nefarious webs. The enigmatic son of the spider family emerged, revealing that he had been bitten and was on the brink of transformation into a demon. Believing himself nearing death, he reflected on his past, recalling how he had repeatedly resisted training despite his genuine desire to make his master proud. Despite his numerous hardships, his master's unwavering support and guidance had propelled him to persevere. In a final, awe-inspiring act, Zenitsu utilized his unique thunder-breathing technique to eliminate Sun, even as he struggled against the poison coursing through his body. As Zenitsu's battle unfolded, Tanjiro and Inosuke confronted the daughter of the spider family. Their relentless pursuit led them to an encounter with Father, who emerged from the forest's depths. Giyu and Shinobu, 2 seasoned Hashiras, arrived at Mount Natagumo, promptly splitting up to tackle the multifaceted threats. Inosuke and Tanjiro found their blades ineffective against Father's formidable defenses. Despite inflicting damage by severing one of Father's hands, Inosuke soon faced a dire predicament, alone and severely wounded. Giyu intervened, coming to Inosuke's aid and ultimately dispatching Father. Meanwhile, Tanjiro's battle escalated as he confronted Rui, the enigmatic puppeteer of the spider family. Overwhelmed by Rui's powerful threads and exceptional abilities, Tanjiro found himself on the defensive. Rui's threats and taunts intensified, pushing Tanjiro to the brink. In a pivotal turn of events, Nezuko entered the fray, determined to protect her brother. Witnessing the undeniable bond between the siblings, Rui declared Nezuko to be his new sister. However, he unveiled a shocking revelation. He was a member of the Lower Five, a faction within the 12 Kizuki. Rui ensnared Nezuko in his lethal threads, challenging Tanjiro to finish him to save her. Tanjiro's efforts to do so proved futile as Rui reinforced the threads with his blood, imprisoning Tanjiro in a devastating blood demon art. With Tanjiro's life hanging in the balance, he recollected a pivotal memory of his father performing a mystical and profound dance accompanied by a special breathing technique known as Hinokami Kagura. Drawing upon this ancient and powerful technique, Tanjiro unleashed its might, shattering Rui's attack and gaining the upper hand in their battle. Nezuko employed her blood demon art in a final display of courage, igniting her blood to incinerate Rui's threads. With Nezuko's blood on his sword, Tanjiro dealt a decisive blow, finishing Rui and ending the sinister spider family's reign of terror. These events marked a significant milestone in Tanjiro's journey as a demon slayer, showcasing his growth, resilience, and determination to protect those he held dear. Exhausted and desperate, Tanjiro strived to reach Nezuko, but he was met with a shocking revelation. Rui had finished himself, avoiding death to continue his pursuit of Tanjiro. However, before Rui could execute his lethal plan, he was intercepted by Giyu, a fellow demon slayer. Despite Rui's use of his strongest threads, he was no match for Giyu's water-breathing technique. In a climactic showdown, Rui was defeated by Giyu. Meanwhile, the daughter of the spider family managed to escape the forest, reminiscing about her traumatic past under Rui's twisted leadership. She recalled how Rui had recruited individuals into his faux family, subjecting them to torment and fear while imposing his distorted concept of familial bonds. The daughter's path turned dark as she encountered Murata, who fell prey to her insidious trap, becoming entangled in an acidic cocoon. However, daughter's reign of terror was short-lived as she crossed paths with Shinobu, a demon slayer who employed cunning strategies to outmaneuver her demonic adversaries. Pretending to befriend daughter, Shinobu swiftly delivered a punishing retribution for her crimes. With a special sword laced with wisteria-based poison, Shinobu eliminated daughter and rescued Murata. In a poignant moment of reflection, Rui's past was unveiled. Born with a fragile body, he was confined indoors throughout his life. However, one fateful night, he encountered Muzan, who transformed him into a demon. Rui's tragic descent into darkness continued as he faced rejection and hostility from his parents, who discovered his insatiable hunger for human flesh. In a cruel twist, Rui's parents attempted to kill him out of fear, leading him to retaliate by taking their lives. Muzan, the source of his demonic existence, manipulated Rui's perception, convincing him that his parents never truly loved him, fueling his descent into cold ruthlessness. As Rui's existence teetered on the brink of oblivion, Tanjiro extended a surprising act of empathy and comfort, sensing the profound grief that consumed him. In a poignant moment, Rui was reunited with his parents in the afterlife, where they offered forgiveness and absolution for their past actions. The situation took a contentious turn as Tanjiro's compassionate nature clashed with the uncompromising rules of the Demon Slayer Corps. Giyu admonished Tanjiro for showing pity to demons, while Tanjiro defended his perspective, viewing them as tragic beings. Memories of the earlier encounter with the siblings resurfaced, and Tanjiro stood his ground in defense of their humanity. However, their confrontation was interrupted when a mysterious girl intervened, incapacitating Tanjiro and attempting to attack Nezuko. While the girl failed to eliminate Nezuko, a Kasugai crow announced that the siblings were to be transported to the Demon Slayer headquarters for judgment, alongside Inosuke and Zenitsu, who were also en route for recovery. Upon awakening, Tanjiro found himself in the presence of the Hashira, the elite and most formidable members of the Demon Slayer Corps. These Hashira, representing various breathing techniques, initiated a trial to determine the fate of Tanjiro and Nezuko, deliberating whether they should be executed for violating the Corps' strict rules. Tanjiro passionately explained his unique circumstances, but Hashira remained skeptical and dismissive, attributing his perspective to bias. In a pivotal moment, Kagaya Ubuyashiki, the leader of the Demon Slayer Corps, intervened, revealing that he had sanctioned Tanjiro's situation. Kagaya presented a letter from Urokodaki, the former water Hashira, who believed in Nezuko's ability to resist harming humans and vouched for Tanjiro, Giyu, and himself, pledging that they would take their own lives should Nezuko ever endanger humans. This revelation caused the Hashira to re-evaluate their stance, acknowledging the importance of Tanjiro's mission. However, one of the Hashira, Sanemi Shinazugawa, remained steadfast in his skepticism and attempted to prove that Nezuko could not be trusted. He resorted to self-inflicted harm, drawing his blood and provoking Nezuko. In a tense and dramatic moment, Nezuko emerged from her box and stared at Sanemi, leaving her intentions uncertain. The trial unfolded as the fates of Tanjiro and Nezuko hung in the balance, with the Hashira grappling with their complex decision. In front of the gathered audience, Nezuko resolutely resisted Sanemi's taunts and provocations, turning away from his self-inflicted harm. Kaguya, interpreting her actions as proof of her restraint and humanity, officially acknowledged Tanjiro and Nezuko as members of the Demon Slayer Corps. With the trial concluded, Tanjiro and Nezuko were escorted by the Kakushi to the Butterfly Mansion, Shinobu Kocho's estate, for their recovery. At the Butterfly Mansion, they reunited with Zenitsu, Inosuke, and Murata, recovering from their previous battles. That night, during a meeting with the Hashira, they reflected on the escalating threat posed by demons and the influx of less experienced demon slayers. Kaguya Ubuyashiki, the leader of the Demon Slayer Corps, came to a chilling realization. Rui's drastic actions were a diversion orchestrated to conceal Muzan's whereabouts, mirroring a similar situation in Asakusa. Despite their challenges, Kaguya reaffirmed his unwavering faith in the Hashira, considering them the strongest group since the Corps' inception, and vowed to eliminate Muzan without fail. Following their recovery, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke embarked on unconventional and challenging rehabilitation training. Zenitsu and Inosuke eventually withdrew from the training when they could not defeat their formidable opponent, Kanao Tsuyuri, who employed a unique technique called Total Concentration Constant. Tanjiro, however, persevered and continued his training. He received insights from the girls of the Butterfly Mansion, Sumi, Kyo, and Naho, regarding Kanao's distinctive technique and the special gourds she used. Motivated by their encouragement, Tanjiro took advantage of the mansion's surroundings, transforming them into makeshift training obstacles. Shinobu Kocho, the mansion's leader, commended his dedication and imparted her dream of achieving peace between humans and demons to him. During a poignant conversation with Tanjiro, Shinobu revealed the underlying pain of witnessing the havoc wrought by demons and the toll it had taken on her. She spoke of her elder sister, who held a compassionate view of demons similar to Tanjiro's. However, her sister was tragically killed by a demon, leading Shinobu to adopt her sister's gentle persona, although she struggled with seeing demons as irredeemable. Tanjiro's unwavering trust in him and his mission resonated deeply with Shinobu, who opened up about her struggles and the importance of finding a path toward peace. After undergoing rigorous training, Tanjiro significantly improved his skills and abilities. Zenitsu and Inosuke bore witness to his progress and sought guidance from Shinobu. Their interactions with her inspired all three to aspire to greater heights in their Demon Slayer journey. Recognizing their potential, Shinobu encouraged Kanao Tsuyuri to join their training regimen. Kanao, known for her coin-flipping method to make decisions, made a choice and left the trio's training. Tanjiro and Inosuke received new swords from master swordsmiths Haganazuka and Kozo Kanamori, although the perceived mistreatment of their work vexed both craftsmen. Tanjiro eventually succeeded in defeating Kanao, showcasing the remarkable progress he had made. During a physical examination, he sought Shinobu's guidance regarding his mysterious Hinokami Kagura technique. Although unsure of its nature, Shinobu directed him to the Flame Hashira, Kyojuro Rengoku, who might provide answers. In a heartfelt moment with Nezuko, Tanjiro reaffirmed his unwavering commitment to aiding Tamayo's research and restoring his sister's humanity. Nezuko's unexpected encouragement bolstered his determination, fueling his resolve. As the story unfolded, the narrative shifted to Muzan Kibutsuji, the progenitor of all demons, and his interactions with the remaining lower ranks of demons. They were summoned to an interdimensional castle, where Muzan, infuriated by their perceived weakness, mercilessly exterminated them. However, he spared the lower one, Enmu, and augmented his powers with his blood, tasking him to eliminate Tanjiro. In the present timeline, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke were assigned to investigate the mysterious occurrences on the Mugen train. The enigmatic train departed, and the trio bid farewell to the inhabitants of the Butterfly Mansion, including Kanao, whose perspective had been deeply influenced by Tanjiro's kindness. Before embarking on their mission, Tanjiro thanked Giyu Tomioka for his unwavering dedication to protecting Nezuko. The three demon slayers arrived at the train station. Still, Inosuke's reckless behavior attracted the attention of the police, forcing them to flee since demon slayers were not officially recognized by the government. Undeterred, they took a daring leap onto the departing train, unaware that it carried both Kyojuro Rengoku and Enmu, setting the stage for the next chapter of their difficult journey. Kyojuro Rengoku receives a mission to investigate and eliminate an elusive demon causing numerous disappearances in a town. He believes that this demon might be connected to the over 40 people who have gone missing on the Mugen train, so he sets out to confront and exterminate them. On his way, he encounters a pair of bento vendors and advises them about the dangers of demons, demonstrating his unwavering commitment to protecting humanity. Eventually, Kyojuro locates the Mugen train, which is slated to be put back into service. He learns about the demon responsible for the train's sinister reputation, and a confrontation ensues. In a spiteful act meant to taunt Kyojuro for his humanity, the demon targets the bento vendors and escapes, leaving the Flame Hashira with a mission to rescue them. Kyojuro successfully tracks down and kills the demon, saving the vendors from a gruesome fate. His heroic actions leave a lasting impact, reminding one of the elderly vendors of her past when she was rescued by the former Flame Hashira many years ago. Realizing that the relatively weak demon he defeated couldn't have been responsible for the numerous victims connected to the Mugen train, Kyojuro decides to board the train and initiate his investigation into the true source of the mysterious disappearances. Meanwhile, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke find themselves on the Mugen train and meet Kyojuro. He provides them with an explanation of the dire situation and the demons hidden on board. Witnessing Kyojuro's formidable abilities firsthand, they join him in preparing to confront the evil forces lurking within the train. As night falls, all four demon slayers succumb to sleep, succumbing to the blood demon art of Enmu, the lower one of the 12 Kizuki. Enmu had cunningly mixed his blood into the ink to print their tickets, allowing his plan to unfold without their awareness. In their dreams, Tanjiro dreams of a joyous reunion with his lost family, while Enmu revels in the prospect that they may never awaken. During their slumber, Enmu instructs four unsuspecting passengers to tie their wrists together, fall asleep, and venture into their dreamscapes. Armed with a bone awl, they are tasked with locating and destroying their spiritual cores, effectively hindering them in the real world. One of these intruders targets Kyojuro, but his indomitable spirit thwarts her in the waking world. In this dire situation, Nezuko, immune to Enmu's blood demon art, emerges from her box and attempts to awaken Tanjiro. Although her initial efforts prove fruitless, she manages to convey to him that he is trapped in a dream. In a desperate bid to regain consciousness, Tanjiro takes a drastic measure and slashes his neck, risking everything to break free from the dream's clutches. Tanjiro's intruder finds himself within Tanjiro's subconscious, where figments of his spirit guide him towards Tanjiro's spiritual core. However, moved by Tanjiro's pure-hearted soul, he hesitates and ultimately refuses to harm him. Tanjiro manages to awaken from the dream and realizes that his fellow demon slayers are still deep in slumber. Nezuko uses her abilities to burn the ropes tying the demon slayers to the intruder's wrists, rousing the passengers from their sleep. Confused and disoriented, the passengers launch an attack on Tanjiro, who uses his skills to subdue them without causing any harm. Understanding the desperation of one of the passengers, Tanjiro chooses to spare him, showing compassion and empathy. With Zenitsu and Inosuke still unable to awaken, Tanjiro entrusts Nezuko with protecting the passengers and proceeds to climb onto the train's roof, where he confronts Enmu. An intense battle ensues, during which Enmu repeatedly forces Tanjiro into unconsciousness. However, Tanjiro remains undeterred by the knowledge that he can commit suicide in his dreams to regain consciousness. Eventually, Tanjiro finished Enmu, but to his surprise, the demon does not disintegrate. Instead, Enmu reveals that he has fused with the entire train, posing a new and formidable threat. Inosuke finally awakens, and with Tanjiro, they continue their battle against the fused Enmu. However, their attacks prove futile against his regeneration abilities. Nezuko joins the fray, followed by the awakening of Zenitsu, who arrives just in time to aid in the fight. Kyojuro, the flame Hashira, also enters and inflicts significant damage on Enmu, temporarily halting his onslaught. Kyojuro explains the plan to Tanjiro. He, Zenitsu, and Nezuko will protect the passengers, while Tanjiro and Inosuke will search for Enmu's real neck. They locate Enmu's neck bone at the train's locomotive, but their relentless slashing fails to breach his defenses. In a desperate move, the train's driver, manipulated by the demon, stabs Tanjiro. However, Tanjiro summons his inner strength, and with Inosuke's assistance, they expose Enmu's neck bone. Tanjiro unleashes his powerful Hinokami Kagura technique, delivering a decisive finishing blow to Enmu. The impact causes the entire train to derail and crash into the ground. As the train derails, Enmu disintegrates, and Tanjiro struggles with his wound. Despite the severity of his injury, Tanjiro managed to stabilize it with Kyojuro's guidance. Their respite is short-lived, as they are confronted by Akaza, upper rank 3 of the 12 Kizuki, who attempts to persuade Kyojuro to become a demon and achieve immortality. Kyojuro rejects Akaza's offer, leading to a fierce battle between the two powerful warriors. Knowing they are outmatched, Tanjiro and Inosuke are forced to watch from a distance, feeling helpless. Despite Kyojuro's incredible strength and speed, Akaza's unique martial arts and potent regeneration abilities begin to overwhelm him, inflicting severe injuries. As the battle reaches a critical point, Kyojuro launches a final, devastating attack against Akaza, briefly stunning him. However, Akaza retaliates, delivering a fatal blow to Kyojuro and shattering his sword. In his last moments, Kyojuro imparts messages for his brother and father to Tanjiro, accepts Nezuko as a fellow demon slayer, and encourages Tanjiro to set his heart ablaze. Kyojuro peacefully passes away, witnessing a vision of his proud mother. Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Nezuko are left devastated by his loss. The other Hashiras receive the news of Kyojuro's heroic sacrifice, and Kagaya, the head of the Demon Slayer Corps, commends him for ensuring the safety of every passenger and comrade in his presence. Akaza reports to Muzan, who has taken on the guise of a young boy. Muzan expresses disappointment in Akaza for his inability to kill the other 3 demon slayers who accompanied Kyojuro. Akaza vows to make it his mission to kill Tanjiro, who eluded him. As Tanjiro meets Kyojuro's brother, Senjuro, and his father, Shinjuro, he faces hostility from Shinjuro, a former flame Hashira who has become an alcoholic and despises the demon slayers. Shinjuro disrespects Tanjiro, leading to a headbutt from Tanjiro to defend Kyojuro's honor. During their confrontation, Shinjuro notices Tanjiro's earrings and realizes he is a bearer of the first breathing technique, sun breathing. Despite his initial hostility, Tanjiro's actions and respect for Kyojuro lead to a brief understanding between them. Senjuro expresses gratitude to Tanjiro for delivering his brother's messages. 4 months after Kyojuro's tragic death, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke join the Sound Hashira, Tengen Uzui, on their next mission, infiltrating the notorious Yoshiwara Red Light District, rumored to be infested with demons. Tengen had sent his 3 wives to investigate the district, but he lost contact with them and feared for their safety. Tengen disguises Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu as girls and arranges for them to be sold to the 3 major courtesan houses where his wives are deployed. While Tanjiro and Inosuke work undercover at their respective houses, Tengen watches over the district from the rooftops, concerned about the well-being of his wives. It is revealed that Makio, one of Tengen's wives, is held captive in a secluded room within Inosuke's assigned house, restrained by numerous obi sashes, and interrogated by a mysterious female voice. Inosuke investigates a room he believes belongs to Makio, expecting to confront a demon. However, he finds the room empty and chaotic, with no sign of Makio. Suddenly, he senses movement within the walls and ceiling, initiating a pursuit of an elusive presence. Meanwhile, Zenitsu is involved in a confrontation with Warabi-hime, the beautiful yet intimidating Oiran, courtesan, of his assigned house. Zenitsu recognizes Warabi-hime as a demon and tries to expose her, leading to a heated exchange. A few days before the mission, Warabi-hime confronts the house's madam, revealing her true identity and ultimately killing her by dropping her from a great height. Upon her return to the house, Warabi-hime is greeted by Muzan, who commends her strength and beauty. He addresses her as Daki, revealing her as the upper rank 6 of the 12 Kizuki. Zenitsu eventually regains consciousness, having been cared for by the girls he had defended earlier. They express their gratitude for his courage. Tanjiro and Inosuke meet to share information, but are interrupted by Tengen. When they realize that Zenitsu is missing, Tengen decides to dismiss them to ensure their safety. However, Tanjiro and Inosuke refuse to abandon their comrades and prepare for battle. Tanjiro bids farewell to the Oiran of his assigned house, who had been aware of his true gender and encouraged him to leave. As Tanjiro departs from the house, he detects a peculiar scent and decides to return. He encounters Daki, who has absorbed the Oiran into her obi. The two engage in a fierce battle, during which Daki utilizes her numerous obi sashes to overpower Tanjiro. With the impact of her attacks, one of the straps on Nezuko's box breaks, preventing Tanjiro from carrying her. Realizing that Daki is the strongest demon he has faced thus far, Tanjiro prepares to confront her alone. Tengen locates Hinatsuru on the district's outskirts, finding her poisoned from her desperate escape, but unable to contact him. Meanwhile, Tanjiro continues his battle against Daki, but the relentless fighting and exhaustion take a toll on his body. His attempts to use Hinokami Kagura are hindered by his fatigue, making it difficult to fight effectively. In another part of the district, Inosuke discovers a narrow passageway beneath his assigned house, leading to a cavern filled with the obi that Daki has used to absorb her victims. These obis have taken on their own life, and Inosuke initially tries to defeat them. However, he shifts his focus to freeing the people trapped within the obi, successfully rescuing Suma and Makio, two of Tengen's wives, and Zenitsu. At Tanjiro's fight, Nezuko intervenes and kicks Daki's head, seemingly defeating her. However, Daki emerges unharmed, and the two demons engage in combat. Daki learns about Nezuko's status as a rogue demon and attacks her. Despite inflicting injuries on Nezuko, Daki is shocked to witness Nezuko's rapid regeneration, which surpasses her abilities. Nezuko, driven by rage, confronts Daki. Their battle intensifies, with Nezuko demonstrating her incredible regenerative powers and overwhelming Daki. In a fit of rage, Nezuko throws Daki into a nearby building. As Daki attempts to heal, she notices a civilian bleeding nearby, triggering her predatory instincts. She moves to attack the civilian, but Tanjiro intervenes and restrains her, preventing her from causing harm. Tengen arrives at the scene and finishes Daki, believing her weaker than expected. To his surprise, Daki does not die, but instead cries out, leading her brother, Gyutaro, to emerge from within her. Gyutaro, who also holds the rank of upper rank 6 alongside Daki, reattaches her head, and the two siblings prepare to fight. Gyutaro, consumed by envy of Tengen's appearance, directly confronts him wielding his sickles and employing his blood demon art. Meanwhile, Tengen, poisoned from a previous cut inflicted by Gyutaro, grapples to maintain his strength while protecting the civilians caught in the crossfire. As the fierce battle unfolds, Tanjiro takes charge in calming down Nezuko, and the timely arrival of Zenitsu and Inosuke further bolsters the Demon Slayer's ranks. Suma and Makio work tirelessly to evacuate the district's residents, and Hinatsuru, now recovered, joins the battle alongside her comrades. Facing the formidable upper-rank siblings, Daki and Gyutaro, the Demon Slayers unite to confront this daunting threat. Despite the remarkable synchronization of the sibling demons, Tanjiro employs his water-breathing techniques to counter Gyutaro's relentless attacks. Hinatsuru intervenes in the battle by hurling wisteria-laced kunais at Gyutaro, creating a vital opening for both Tengen and Tanjiro to target Gyutaro's primary weakness, his neck. The confrontation escalates as they draw closer to their objective. Following a grueling exchange, Gyutaro manages to neutralize the effects of the wisteria poison and regenerates his legs, thwarting Tanjiro, Tengen, and Hinatsuru's charge. He activates his blood demon art, ensnaring Hinatsuru and effectively halting the demon slayer's advance. With Hinatsuru's life hanging in the balance and Tengen's desperate pleas for assistance, Tanjiro takes a decisive step. He unleashes a potent combination of Hinokami Kagura and water breathing, launching a high-speed assault that temporarily stuns Gyutaro, saving Hinatsuru in the process. Tengen joins Tanjiro in their joint effort to finish Gyutaro. Simultaneously, Zenitsu and Inosuke face off against Daki's OB creations, engaging in their own intense battle. Gyutaro manages to thwart the attempts on his life as the demon slayers aim for his neck. In a last-ditch effort to safeguard Hinatsuru and Tanjiro, Tengen makes a sacrificial move to protect his comrades, leading to an intense standoff. The battle intensifies further as Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke stand united against the formidable upper-rank siblings. Gyutaro, with the ability to neutralize the wisteria poison and regenerate his legs, manages to halt their charge. With his blood demon art, he seizes Hinatsuru, preventing the demon slayers from progressing. Driven by the urgency of the situation, Tanjiro launches a swift, high-powered attack by combining Hinokami Kagura and water breathing, rescuing Hinatsuru from the brink of danger. While Tanjiro and Tengen focus their efforts on Gyutaro, Zenitsu and Inosuke confront the menacing Daki and her OB creations. With calculated coordination, Tanjiro and Zenitsu create a much-needed opening for Inosuke to strike at Daki. Inosuke successfully severs Daki's head with his swords and carries it away to prevent reattachment. However, an unexpected turn of events unfolds as Gyutaro makes a sudden reappearance. He stabs Inosuke from behind and reclaims Daki's head, adding a layer of complexity to the ongoing battle. In a moment of despair, Zenitsu takes action, pushing Tanjiro off the rooftop to protect him from an impending attack from Gyutaro. Tanjiro survives the fall and rushes to Nezuko's box, relieved to find her unharmed. However, Gyutaro, relishing his upper hand in the battle, subjects Tanjiro to a brutal assault, highlighting his perceived inability to protect his friends and Nezuko. In this moment of vulnerability, Tanjiro finds himself at the mercy of the relentless upper-rank demon. Gyutaro offers Tanjiro a perilous choice, suggesting that he become a demon to escape certain death. In response, Tanjiro displays unwavering defiance, meting out a defiant headbutt and impaling Gyutaro with a poisoned kunai. With Gyutaro immobilized, Tanjiro readies himself to employ his Hinokami Kagura technique yet again, poised to deliver the decisive blow. While Daki attempts to intervene, she faces a swift and resolute counterattack from Zenitsu, who employs his swiftest form to reach her neck. In the face of Gyutaro's attempts to remove the kunai and recover, Tanjiro presses on in his relentless assault. Despite the halt of the poison's effects, Tengen re-enters the battle, determined to confront Gyutaro head-on. As the climax of the battle approaches, Tanjiro reaches the critical moment where he stands poised to deliver the final decisive strike that could bring an end to the fierce and relentless battle against Gyutaro. After their grueling battle with Gyutaro and Daki, the formidable upper-rank six siblings, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, Inosuke, and the indomitable Nezuko, found themselves under the watchful eye of the vigilant Kakushi. Inside the mysterious confines of the Infinity Castle, the enigmatic mastermind behind the demon's malevolence, Muzan Kibutsuji, summoned the remaining 5 upper-rank demons. Muzan, in his characteristic stern tone, reprimanded them for their failure to eliminate the Ubuyashiki family and for their inability to locate the elusive blue spider lily, a potent remedy against demonkind. Gyoko, eager to provide valuable information, presented himself as a valuable asset and was assigned to a joint mission with Hantengu. At the same time, Zenitsu and Inosuke were summoned for individual missions. In the midst of these developments, Tanjiro focused on his recovery and rehabilitation. However, a crucial hurdle emerged on his path to recovery as he sought a new sword. The esteemed swordsmith, Hotaru Haganezuka, adamantly refused to forge one for him, setting the stage for a pivotal meeting. Tanjiro was directed to the swordsmith village to address this matter more comprehensively. Accompanied by his steadfast sister, Nezuko, Tanjiro entered the village and had the privilege of meeting its chief, Techen Techikawahara. Techen reassured Tanjiro that he would endeavor to persuade Hotaru to craft the much-needed sword. During his time in the village, Tanjiro seized the opportunity to visit the rejuvenating hot springs. There, an unexpected encounter with the love Hashira, Mitsuri Kanroji, transpired. Mitsuri, who initially appeared disheartened due to being seemingly ignored by an unknown figure, shared the soothing waters with Tanjiro. In the hot springs, Tanjiro also crossed paths with Genya, a fellow demon slayer, and the younger brother of the wind Hashira, Sanemi Shinazugawa. Genya, however, responded to Tanjiro's hospitality with rejection and departed abruptly, leaving their interaction brusque. As their time in the village unfolded, Mitsuri cryptically alluded to a secret weapon hidden within, a source of potential empowerment. She bid farewell to the siblings, leaving them with this tantalizing piece of information. The subsequent day, Tanjiro embarked on a quest to uncover the mysterious weapon, leading him into a heated confrontation between the Mist Hashira, Muichiro Tokido, and an unidentified figure. To his astonishment, this figure resembled the man from his recurring dreams and appeared to be embroiled in this enigmatic altercation. As Tanjiro discreetly observed, a tense standoff unfolded between Muichiro and a young swordsmith named Kotetsu. Muichiro's threats to the boy escalated, prompting Tanjiro to intervene and protect Kotetsu. Yet, the indifferent Hashira, Muichiro, reacted by incapacitating Tanjiro for intervening in their dispute. Upon regaining consciousness, Tanjiro learned from Kotetsu the significance of the man in question. The figure was an advanced mechanical training doll fashioned after a legendary swordsman from over 3 centuries ago. This remarkable creation held profound sentimental value to Kotetsu, as it represented a cherished legacy passed down through generations of his ancestors. With no family to inherit this legacy, the doll was his sole connection to the past. Tanjiro empathized deeply with Kotetsu's plight and agreed to safeguard this cherished artifact. However, their conversation was abruptly interrupted when Muichiro, having completed his training session, inadvertently caused significant damage to the doll. Remarkably, the doll remained functional, and Kotetsu proposed that Tanjiro undergo rigorous training with it to surpass the arrogant Muichiro. This training regimen proved to be an arduous test, as Kotetsu withheld food and water from Tanjiro until he successfully landed impactful blows on the doll. As Tanjiro's resolve was put to the test, he eventually pushed himself to the brink of exhaustion. In his weakened state, he experienced an otherworldly vision that transported him to the banks of the Sanzu River in the afterlife. Here, he stumbled upon a peculiar stone that bestowed upon him the extraordinary ability to detect scents even faster than his previous opening thread technique. Upon returning to reality, Tanjiro applied this newfound skill to his training, and, to everyone's astonishment, delivered a powerful blow to the doll's head. The doll shattered, revealing a concealed sword hidden within. However, this moment of revelation was tinged with disappointment as the sword appeared tarnished, casting a shadow of uncertainty on Tanjiro's path to recovery and strength. Just then, Hotaru Haganezuka, who had undergone rigorous solitary training to gain the strength necessary to forge a superior sword for Tanjiro, entered the scene. Hotaru temporarily provided Tanjiro with a spare weapon to restore the ancient sword. In the days that followed, Tanjiro made sincere attempts to befriend Genya, despite his overtures being consistently rejected. This rejection continued even though Genya had regrown a tooth he had lost earlier. Unbeknownst to the inhabitants of the swordsmith village, a looming threat was gradually infiltrating their midst. Gyoko and Hantengu, two formidable demons, had found their way into the heart of the village. Hantengu's encounter with Tanjiro, Nezuko, and Muichiro took a swift turn for the worse, ultimately leading to Muichiro decisively finishing him. However, from the severed body and head of Hantengu, two new demons emerged. One of these new demons, known as Karaku, unleashed a potent wind-based attack that sent Muichiro hurtling through the air. The other demon, Sekido, nearly electrocuted Tanjiro with a lethal Kakara strike. In an unexpected turn of events, Genya arrived on the scene and rapidly finished both demons using a combination of a sawed-off shotgun and a Nichiren wakizashi. But the demons did not meet their end. Instead, they divided into four distinct entities. One of these entities, Urogi, released a devastating sonic shriek that incapacitated Tanjiro. Meanwhile, Nezuko valiantly defended Genya from another entity, Eizetsu, who wielded a formidable yari. Amidst the intense battle, Muichiro managed to finish the fish demon, but it remained undeterred until he finally slashed the vase on its back, putting an end to its menace. Kotetsu implored Muichiro to save Hotaru and another fellow swordsmith named Kozo Kanamori. Muichiro initially prioritized protecting the village, but a memory from Kagaya's counsel about small triggers prompting recollections stirred within him. This led him to join Kotetsu in the quest to locate the two swordsmiths. As the battle raged on, Tanjiro astutely recognized that each of the four demons represented distinct emotions: joy, uroji, anger, sekido, pleasure, karaku, and sorrow, eizetsu. Genya's inexplicable resilience against fatal injuries bewildered the demons Sekido and Eizetsu, while Nezuko, in a display of her incredible abilities, incinerated Karaku using her blood and cleverly harnessed his Uchiwa against him. However, Sekido immobilized Nezuko by piercing her neck and delivering a debilitating shock. Tanjiro, utilizing Urogi's ability to fly and his knowledge of the entity's insulating foot, reached Nezuko and Genya while avoiding Sekido's electrical attacks. He freed Nezuko, who protected him from Sekido's relentless assaults. Nevertheless, their dire predicament escalated as Karaku returned and unleashed powerful winds, pinning Nezuko beneath heavy debris. As more fish demons descended upon the village, the situation became increasingly perilous. Mitsuri approached with the intent of rescuing the imperiled swordsmiths. Having saved Kozo from a relentless fish demon, Muichiro escorted him to his workshop to craft a new blade. Their path led them to an unexpected encounter with Gyoko, who lay in wait. Meanwhile, Mitsuri arrived at the village and used her exceptional sword techniques to swiftly dispatch the attacking fish demons. She then confronted and defeated the largest fish demon using her unique love-breathing techniques, protecting Tekken from harm. As Nezuko found herself trapped beneath heavy debris by Karaku, she gripped Tanjiro's blade and coated it with her blood. Muichiro engaged in a formidable battle with Gyoko, recognizing the evil nature of his opponent. Gyoko's ability to create new vases and teleport between them made him a formidable adversary, frustrating Muichiro's attempts to land a decisive blow. Ultimately, Muichiro found himself ensnared within a watery vase, struggling for breath. Nezuko's blood demon art, however, heated Tanjiro's blade to a searing red hue, and this attracted the attention of Sekido. Sekido, delving into Muzan's memories, recognized the sword's resemblance to the weapon wielded by the demon slayer who had nearly killed him. A fiery mark reappeared on his scar, and this triggered Tanjiro's powerful Hinokami Kagura. In a burst of blazing speed, he finished Urogi, Karaku, and Sekido. To their astonishment, they discovered that Genya had finished Eizetsu as well, but the transformed appearance of Eizetsu as a demon left them all in shock. Tanjiro quickly realized that Genya had retained his human conscience and instructed him to seek out a hidden fifth demon, as the four finished clones failed to disintegrate as expected. While rescuing Nezuko from the debris, Tanjiro directed her to protect Genya. However, to their dismay, the demons fully regenerated, compelling Tanjiro to stay behind and guide Genya through the forest using his heightened sense of smell. Genya eventually located the now miniature Hantengu, but his body proved more durable than his clones. Unexpectedly, Sekido emerged from behind Hantengu, leaving them in a precarious situation as their fates remained uncertain. As the situation reached a critical juncture, Genya reflected on his painful childhood, marked by constant abuse inflicted upon his family by their father, who was ultimately despised and met a tragic end. Genya and his older brother Sanemi set out on a fateful journey to find their mother and vowed to protect their family, forever altering their destinies. Sekido. Genya, in a selfless act, shielded Tanjiro from Aizetsu's blood demon art. With determination, Tanjiro pursued Hantengu, relentless in his intent to finish him. Tanjiro successfully sliced Hantengu's neck, but his blade's diminishing flames prevented him from cutting through completely. Then, he confronted the embodiment of Hantengu's hatred, Zohakuten, who unleashed his blood demon art, summoning giant wooden dragons. Genya realized that Zohakuten was none other than Sekido, who had absorbed the strength of Karaku, Urogi, and Aizetsu to fuse into a single entity. Zohakuten protected Hantengu within a burrow and accused the demon slayers of being villains for causing them harm. Tanjiro vehemently refuted this accusation, further incensing Zohakuten. Meanwhile, Gyoko entered Kozo's shed, where Kozo and Hotaru diligently polished Tanjiro's blade. Despite sustaining multiple wounds, Hotaru remained steadfast and unwavering, annoying Gyoko with his unwavering concentration. Muichiro, near death, suddenly glimpsed Tanjiro, who reassured him that despite his past mistakes, help would arrive. To their surprise, Kotetsu appeared, and despite facing seemingly insurmountable odds, tried to stab the pot. However, he was ambushed by a small demon who inflicted a critical wound by stabbing him in the solar plexus. Despite Muichiro's attempts to dissuade him from assisting, Kotetsu blew bubbles into the pot, providing the oxygen needed for one final attack. This act allowed Muichiro to break free successfully. At this moment, Muichiro realized Tanjiro's familiar appearance was due to their shared eye color, reminiscent of his father's. As Muichiro managed to escape, he felt the debilitating effects of the poison from the needles growing stronger within him. His life hung in the balance, and in a dire moment, he witnessed his past unfold before him, regaining his lost memories. Muichiro's origins were humble. He was the son of a woodcutter, and his life took a tragic turn when his mother fell ill, and his father embarked on a journey to obtain medicinal herbs, never to return. Left orphaned, Muichiro's older twin brother Yuichiro shouldered the burden of raising him, but remained distant and bitter. A visit from Kagaya's wife, Amane, aimed at recruiting them into the Corps, provoked Yuichiro into a bitter tirade about the futility of helping others and the inevitability of their deaths being as meaningless as their parents. Tragedy struck when a demon attacked them, fatally wounding Yuichiro. In a blaze of rage, Muichiro defeated the demon and witnessed his brother's final moments. He apologized to Yuichiro and prayed for his survival, his intense emotions marking his face and granting him augmented speed and strength. Rescuing Kotetsu, Muichiro embarked on a mission to save Hotaru and Kozo. Confronting Gyoko, Muichiro engaged in a fierce battle, successfully infuriating Gyoko by insulting his art. As Muichiro's powerful techniques overpowered Gyoko's blood demon arts, the demon revealed his true form, a massive merman-like creature with a deadly touch. Kozo came to Muichiro's aid, and Kotetsu, saved from fatal injury by Kyojuro Rengoku's Tsuba, hidden in his shirt, joined them. Muichiro's tears flowed as he was reminded of his lost friend, and comforting visions of his family filled his thoughts. Elsewhere, Tanjiro found himself in a difficult situation, struggling against Zohakuten. His eardrums were ruptured, and the dragon's devastating attacks crushed his left foot. Mitsuri arrived just in the nick of time, slicing apart one of the dragons and rescuing Tanjiro. She then faced off against Zohakuten to protect Nezuko and Genya. Despite Mitsuri's valiant efforts to sever the dragons, she failed to realize that Zohakuten was not the main body and fell victim to his stunning sonic attack. As Zohakuten moved in for the kill, Mitsuri recollected her past, a childhood filled with love from her family, where her unique strength, distinctive hair color, and insatiable appetite set her apart. Her desire to fit in and lead a normal life led her to conceal her true self, dyeing her hair black and suppressing her appetite to seek acceptance through marriage. However, joining the Demon Slayer Corps allowed her to embrace her uniqueness and act freely. Mitsuri woke up to see Tanjiro, Nezuko, and Genya rescue her. As Urami sought out humans to devour, Tanjiro, armed with the ancient sword provided by Muichiro, unleashed his combined techniques to finish the demon. However, with dawn approaching, Tanjiro raced back to Nezuko to shield her from the sunlight. To his shock, Nezuko revealed that Urami was still alive, as Hantengu had not been finished. Urami was merely the manifestation of Hantengu's deep-seated resentment. As daylight broke, Nezuko began to burn in the sun's rays. With his sister dying in his arms and Urami still a threat, Tanjiro momentarily froze in despair. Nezuko, with her last ounce of strength, kicked him away and signaled for him to eliminate the demon. Guided by his heightened sense of smell, Tanjiro pinpointed Hantengu's hiding place inside Urami's heart and sliced it apart, exposing him to the deadly sunlight. Hantengu relived the memories of his human life as he was finished and reduced to ashes. This simultaneous action also saved the exhausted Mitsuri from Zohakuten, who met the same fate. Amidst the sorrow of his sister's apparent demise, Tanjiro turned to see Nezuko, the once demon, no longer burning in the sunlight. His relief and joy were palpable as she had miraculously survived. Through Hantengu's memories, Muzan Kibutsuji, the ultimate antagonist, realized that his ambition to conquer the sun could be achieved by devouring Nezuko. Hantengu's past revealed him as a sickly young man from the Heian period who, in a fit of rage at his lack of recovery, had killed the doctor. It turned out that the doctor's final treatment had enhanced his physical abilities and saved his life, albeit rendering him unable to withstand sunlight. Frustrated by his inability to locate the doctor's last creation, the blue spider lily, he resorted to creating demons, hoping one of them could conquer the sun. In the aftermath of the battle, Muichiro expressed his gratitude to Tanjiro for helping him regain his identity. Mitsuri warmly embraced them both, celebrating their survival. As Tanjiro left the village, the swordsmiths hailed him as a hero for saving them from the demon threat. I hope you enjoy the video. Don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments what you think of this anime. Goodbye, everyone.